Dehancer is a film emulation software that can turn any footage straight into film. And they just concluded their 2024 Dehancer Colorist Awards. You can learn more about that in the link in the bio. And I want to say a big thank you to Dehancer for allowing me to make this video today. And if you want to use Dehancer for yourself, the link to do so will also be in the description, along with my promo code Elias10 to receive 10% off all Dehancer products. Again, I want to give a big thank you to Dehancer. Let's get into the video. Alright, so here we have my footage for a video that I'm hopefully will release by now. If not, sorry. But here is the footage that we have here. I just took a little clip from it that I already didn't color. I'll show you the final product, but that'll ruin the whole surprise. But yeah, using Dehancer is super easy. Like me personally, I'm not a professional colorist, so if I can do it, you can definitely do it. But once you get Dehancer, what you want to do is come to your color tab down here, scroll all the way to the bottom, find Dehancer, just drag and drop. And hopefully your video doesn't corrupt like mine just did. Like I was saying before, here's the clip that we're gonna use for today to edit and show you how to use Dehancer. Again, I'm not a professional colorist, but if I can use Dehancer, you can use Dehancer. I promise you it's not super hard. It looks like a beast low-key, especially when you open up DaVinci Resolve. Let's ignore that audio. Thank you very much. Especially when you open up DaVinci Resolve, it kind of seems like more than it really is, because you have like all these tabs and stuff down here, and I don't even know what the Fusion tab does. I'm not gonna lie to you, I only use the color tab honestly. But yeah, as you can see, I have other clips down here that I've already edited. I just cut out these other two so we can have examples. We can turn the clip tab off anyways. So once you drag and drop your Dehancer emulation onto your node, I only use one node because I'm not about to use mad nodes. I'm not a scientist. Come over here to source and select choose camera. The camera that I use, already is preset. The camera that I use is Sony, so scroll down to Sony down here. The camera that I have personally is a Sony ZV-E10, which is a vlog camera. Not a bad camera at all. I've been using it for maybe a year or two. Sony ZV-E10 is not on here. Sony ZV-E1 is, and Sony ZV-1 and ZV-E1 are both on here, but neither of which have S-Log2, which I filmed in. So a camera that does have S-Log2 on here is the Sony a7 III, and I think a7S III also has it. I'm gonna just choose a7S III because it sounds cooler, I guess. Next, you're gonna click the defringe enabled. Why? That's a good question. After we finish with our input tab, we're gonna come down to our film tab. Here, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing you how I prefer to do it. But the film profile that I choose is Fuji Color Print Industrial 100. Why'd I choose it? Because I like it. The other things down here, like other ones, I don't hate them. I just don't like them as much as the Fuji print one. There was like a Kodak one here that I was cool with. This, not that one. This one, the 50D. I'm cool with this one too, personally. This one's not bad, but for today, just for this video, we're gonna use the Fuji Print Industrial 100. And then make sure this thing right here is enabled as well, just so you can have the film emulation enabled, or the film tab enabled, sorry. So if I close these two, you can see like there's mad tabs on here, like from print to film grain to halation to bloom, which I'll explain later, like film damage, film breath, gate weave, overscan. It seems like a lot, especially when you like scroll through them like it's your first time using Dehancer or even DaVinci Resolve. But honestly, I don't use every single one of these tabs to get the look that I want. I'd use maybe like 5, maybe even like 3, not including the input and film tab, which everyone is gonna have to use. Like film developer, probably not gonna use too much. I know for a fact I'm not going to use Overscan, which is like this, that. It's not bad for you, but personally, I'm just not a fan of the Overscan stuff. Gate weave, which kind of makes it zoom in a little bit so the film can kind of like move a little bit. Like, I don't know, it emulates how film is. That's what it does, basically. It's not bad. Again, you can do it if you want to, just I'm not going to. The next thing that I turn on is the film developer tab. film developer, probably not gonna use too much. Doesn't look like it does much now. It probably does, just for like actually it does. Just for the color separation here. That does nothing actually. Maybe I lied. Color boost is what I'm looking for. That's the thing that I use. See, I'm not a professional, as I said before. But this tab does matter, I promise. The next tab that I use, the expand tab, just make sure that's enabled as well. Don't worry about the white point, black point too much. And the next tab that I use is the print tab. And then you can use any one of these profiles here. You can see that it cooks my image personally. I'm not a big fan of a cooked image. This Kodak one isn't super bad, but I'm just gonna keep it linear for myself because that's what I prefer. And then click this analog range limiter just to give yourself a little more space. You can really see like the difference when I enable it and disable it, so you can see like it's doing something. See, I know what I'm doing a little bit. And then here for the color head tab, honestly, this is kind of where I get to like the beast section of Dehancer. I'm not the biggest colorist, like I said before. You can press gang, they all go together. I'll enable it to make it move. But yeah, you can see like here it changes the color and stuff like that. If you want to get a little more, I guess, scientific with it, or really specific with your colors, if you had like a scene like that, you could. Feel free to also play with them and stuff like that, and just see how they work. And you know, if you want to see your midtones, your exposure, stuff like that. Me personally, I'm not that kind of guy. And for the look that I'm trying to get today, I don't have to use this tab. So we can just even disable that if you want to. Close color head tab. For the film grain tab, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Dehancer's film grain. I'm so sorry. It makes my computer slow because I'm on a MacBook Air, which isn't Dehancer's fault. But for their film grain, I prefer the one that I already have myself, that I can link where I got it from down in the description. I can't give it to y'all because I paid for it, obviously. But I prefer my own film grain that I already have. So I'm gonna stick with that. But if you do want to use Dehancer's film grain, definitely feel free to do so. So I'm gonna turn the film grain off. As far as halation, I can't, I try to describe halation sometimes, but like, it's kind of like the glowiness of the air. Like halation and bloom kind of make your film, make your footage look more like fuzzy. It gives that more of like a film look, along with the grain and other stuff like that. But here you can see it more when you turn off the remjet. What remjet is like on like physical film, remjet is the thing like that kind of stops halation and light coming from, stops light from coming in. So when you turn off the remjet, you can see a lot more when you press mask mode, that it like lets light in, you know what I mean? You can see like the light around my head, light around the window here. Turn that mask off. You can even see how the halation works. When I turn it up and down, if my mouse will work, when I turn it up and down, you can see it, you know what I mean? Even disabling, enabling it. Yeah. For halation, yeah, I prefer to use this one right here, 8mm Super 8 with no remjet. We're gonna put it at like, probably super low. Honestly, let me close this clip tab. And I don't want like too much halation because then like it makes it look like a little bit too like fuzzy. It's not the look that I'm going for today. I'm gonna put it at like 10, 8. Again, this is like just how to use Dehancer. I'm not saying you have to get my exact numbers to have a good looking film. Definitely play around with it. Definitely decide how you want it to look and what looks best for the look you're going for. This is all about your own creativity, your own artistic freedom. That's a term. Yeah, let's keep going. And as far as bloom goes, same thing here too. You can't really tell all the time. It kind of makes like the light a little more soft, especially when the halation goes up. You can see kind of the softness increase. I don't like too much halation and bloom. I'm gonna put that back in, you know. But if you enable the mask mode again, you can see like how it kind of softens the light around the window, my hair again, where the light's coming from, and even a little bit over here up the bed. And for bloom, I'm gonna go with this 16mm Super 16. Turn that mask off, keep it enabled. Again, I don't like too much bloom. I don't like when my film looks super duper fuzzy. Not super duper, like super duper soft. Again, just not the look that I'm going for today. So far, this is what we got. This is our S-Log2 footage, real gray, real green, real nasty looking, compared to what we have so far. And honestly, it's looking pretty good, you know, like look at my skin, you know, I'm looking real brown. The browns in my bed and the wall and stuff like that. Like, it's not so much different color in here, but you can definitely see like the life being kind of breathed into this thing, especially for the look that I'm going for. I like it a lot. Especially for a beginner, like it's not bad at all. I actually think I'm gonna turn up the bloom just a tad bit. So far we have this. That's not too bad so far, honestly, just considering what I've done. You can see it's playing a little bit choppy, which obviously I'm not a fan of. My proxies were acting a bit weird. I'm gonna change it from preferred proxies to preferred camera originals. Sometimes that changes how good it plays, and I'm going to change my timeline playback resolution from half to quarter. If I went full and I went like full camera originals, my computer might shut down. You can see it's even playing even choppier. We ain't doing that. This is a MacBook Air. So we're gonna stay preferred camera originals and playback resolution back to half. But yeah, back to the coloring. Yeah, next is film breath. I'm not the biggest fan of film breath. What it does when it's enabled here is it kind of gives it like this red-green shift. It kind of gives it this red-green shift in the footage. You can kind of see, especially in the background here in the wall, how it's going from like red to green over and over again. Let's play it back one more time. How it's kind of going from red to green, red to green. It's very subtle, but it kind of gives it, again, that like old film look, like the thing's a bit broken kind of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of that. That's not really the vibe or look that I go for. At least not right now. If that is you, God bless you. But again, just like the film damage tab, I'm going to close this thing and God bless it. Next tab here is gate weave. Gate weave, I think I said it before, but it kind of zooms in and gives you like this, oh, let's turn off film breath. Yep. It kind of gives you like this, a little bit of a shaky vibe, kind of like the camera shaking kind of thing, like again, just more of a film emulation vibe. All these little things, not that they don't matter, but they're just like little aspects to kind of immerse the viewer more into this like film world that you have. So you can kind of like build your footage to look more like film and kind of escape the viewer from the mindset of this is digital, and kind of trick them more in that way, maybe even trick yourself. As for Overscan, again, Overscan, not the biggest fan of as well. When enabled, it's not bad again, like you can play with it a lot, and it's pretty fun to use and like see how to make your footage look. I'm just messing with the X and Y axis on here, don't worry about that too much. But yeah, when it's enabled, it kind of gives you this overlay. They got a lot of things here. Dehancer is vastly large. Again, there's so many possibilities that you can have with this thing that you can just kind of tap to whatever kind of creative prowess you have within yourself. Again, I'm not a fan of the overscan thing. I'm gonna just disable it, close it up, not the look that I'm going for, and God bless it. For vignette, I'll get back to that later. I actually do use the vignette tab. For monitor, output, LUT, generator, I don't even know what that does. We're gonna keep those ones closed and go back to our coloring. So far, this is what we have. Again, not that bad. I'm really a big fan of it so far, especially for the one or two things we've done so far, the film comprehension. Oh, the film comprehension. For the film developer and these other tabs we enabled. I want to add a bit more contrast to it. And there is a contrast thing in this input tab, but I don't really like how it does the contrast and the temperature thing. If you want to adjust these to like kind of a white balancer thing before you go into there, that's cool too. I'm not doing that personally. I don't at least want to do that for the look that I'm going for again. So just to adjust my contrast a little bit, just want to add, not too much, just want to add some more like shadows to the other side of my face. Personally, I love shadows, so I'm just gonna, use them. And as for the color boosts, honestly, I don't really have a set method as to how I do this. I just kind of go with the flow, and whatever looks good to me is kind of how I go with it. I recommend you do the same thing too. It really isn't that big of a deal. Like, you're not going to make it look like cooked. As long as it doesn't look like it's cooked or fried or whatever it is, you'll be perfectly fine. This really is all about you being creative, you just being the artist that you are, and having your colors look the way that you want them to look. I think that's cool, honestly, for my color boost. As for now, my face does look a little bit weird, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, that's the whole thing on and off. As for the film developer, you can see like it adds a little bit of contrast in there. Really gives me some like deeper browns and stuff like that, which this entire frame is brown, so it's really good to kind of separate the browns in there some more. Then down here for the print, we're gonna keep it as linear. Honestly, I'm kind of liking it how it is. The only other thing that I would really do is add my own grain onto there and like kind of put it in like 4x3 kind of thing, and it's like that look. It gives more of a film look again, like it makes the video more immersive with these little tidbits there. Again, they're not necessary to make your video look good, but if you're trying to make it look like film and really use Dehancer to its full ability, I'd recommend doing those kind of things, you know, like just the little details in there really take your video from film emulation to like, this actually could be film. You never know. Again, like I don't know all the technical terms for all this stuff. I don't really, not study it, but I don't fully understand what everything here does yet, which even goes to show, like again, like you don't have to be a professional colorist or like understand what gamma means. I don't know what gamma correction means, bro. I just adjust knobs, they look fine. But the fact that I can do that without having such extensive knowledge, again, goes to show that you don't have to be any sort of like boss in coloring when it comes to trying to make film look good. All you really need is Dehancer. So now I've added my my grain overlay, which I prefer over Dehancer. Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of the grain they had there. I like how it looked, honestly. I like the brown, the scope of it. I don't really go for such a crazy look or whatever it is. I'm just, oh, don't touch too many buttons, yo. But yeah, I like the looks, I like the browns. I'm liking how I'm looking. Obviously, I like how I look. I look a little bit crazy there. We can play it and it'll be a bit choppy, but I'm a very big fan of the colors here. Again, like that didn't take too long. Dehancer is not super hard to use, especially once you get a handle of it and you understand like what you're looking at and what you're doing and like what does what. You don't have to fully understand everything to use Dehancer. Just knowing like those 4, 5, 6 tabs and being creative with them, honestly. Like, you don't have to copy exactly what I did. You can go with a whole different look and get something that also looks amazing. So thank you all for watching this video today. Thank you again, Dehancer, for allowing me to make this video, just play around with the Dehancer here. Again, if you want to make content and you like how mine looks, I would definitely recommend getting Dehancer, or at least thinking about getting Dehancer, especially with my promo code Elias10, 10% off all things in the Dehancer store. Because it wasn't that hard, it didn't take that long. It's a really simple process to get your film or get your footage how you want it to look. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. This has been how I make my videos look cinematic with Dehancer.